and we don't ram this thing going on from creation. Bram bram, the big and furious and we don't ram this thing going on from creation. Bram bram, the big and furious and we don't ram this thing going on from creation. Bram bram, the big and furious and we don't ram this thing going on from creation. Bram bram, bram bram, we don't ram this thing going on. The big and furious and we bram bram, we don't ram this thing going on. The big and yeah, that move down.
Hey guys, what's up? This is Wally with Beach River Landscapes. Wanted to bring you guys an updated review of the HUSQVARNA 580 BTS backpack blower. Several of you guys have asked me to do an updated review of this since the last time I did one was the original review. And you know, a couple of you guys had said, you know, we don't really see a lot of updates on the same piece of equipment later. So I still have the blowers, all four of them, and it's been what, almost 2 years since I got them, a little over a year and a half. So I'll just jump right into it. Let's just go almost 2 years later, the negatives to the positives. So what we have, for me personally, there's one negative for me and then two negatives kind of for some of the guys. Basically anybody who's 5'6", this is a negative. So for me, the negative on these blowers, and this is what I stated in the original video I did, is the on and off switch. So when you are using the blower, you hit a stopping point and you have to push forward to kill the blower. And the only thing is it's not spring loaded, so it doesn't come back up. So it'll stay in that off position. And so, you know, until you're used to it, say the guys are, even when you are used to it, you still have to look at the handle, make sure it's off. Say if the door's right here, you have to reach over, pull it down before you can start it. It's just kind of like an unnecessary extra step, you know, when you're just trying to grab a backpack blower. But when the guys aren't used to it and you have new guys, and I've seen them like killing themselves trying to get this thing started, and just go over and realize that the blower is still switched to the off position. I've gotten into the habit, and the guys have gotten into the habit to, when they turn it off, they immediately kick it back in the on position and eliminates that thing. But that's my big negative on these blowers. I hope that they plan on doing some kind of spring-loaded deal to kick back the off and on switch. The other negative for some of the guys, not me, is the overall size, the overall platform size of the blower. Compared to like the BR600, 700s, which pretty much have a similar, you know, fitting size, the 580 BTS is a little bigger on your back. The air filter housing is on top instead of in, you know, next to the engine, you know, the carburetor and all that. It's not part of this whole, you know, faceted system. So having the air filter on top like this does create a larger, you know, backpack, you know, for the blower putting it on. I don't find a problem with it, but some of the guys do kind of look like they have a big turtle shell on their back. But in the end, they do still enjoy the blower for all of the positive reasons. So let's jump to all of the positive reasons that I still have these blowers. The build quality, we'll jump off of that. Build quality is phenomenal on these things. I've had, you know, BR600s where they have dropped or, you know, fallen off, you know, a trailer or something, and you know that it's fallen. The springs or something breaks, and it just, all of a sudden, your brand new blower just feels like something from Sanford & Son. And I love steel, don't get me wrong. I love the BR series. I think that they're amazing blowers. That's all I used to own was, I've had like 20 backpack blowers, and they were all steels. But since somebody, you know, said, hey, you should try these out, I looked them up, didn't really find much information on it, went to Express Mower. Like I said, you know, my other video, once I turned this on and I started using it as a demo, that was it for me. But the build quality is phenomenal. Unfortunately, these things do get dropped. They have get dropped. But I have noticed, in many years of doing this, I have noticed that what I see with this particular style backpack blower is nothing feels clunky or broken or off when they've been dropped. So that part I love. I love having this air filter housing coming up, or, you know, this whole assembly right here, sweet, because I'll literally grab the blower off of the rack by the air filter housing. assembly here. So it's just phenomenal. All the tubing, the hoses, everything is just really kept together. So as far as like comparing, now I haven't owned any of the new Echo backpack blowers. So this is mainly a reference to the most popular, which is the steel. So, but like I said, I went out and bought 4 of them. We just preferred these once I ran them over the BR700s. But as far, we get into some other things. That positives on this, I love the ergonomics. Now, I did say in the beginning that I preferred the steel handle over this, but the more that I've used this, the more I actually prefer this handle, because you have all kinds of adjustments. You can turn the knob and adjust it this way. I've come to just lock these in, lock the throttle down, and I've come to grab the blowers like this. So I'll wrap my hand and right down the middle here, thumb over it, and pretty much just I have it do whatever I want. Ergonomics on it, like I said, are pretty killer. All of the tubing, none of this stuff is cracked, and that's something that I'm not used to seeing on blowers that get this much use. Blowers I've had in the past, the tubing's always cracking or something's coming apart. Everything is still good to go. I've had no maintenance issues on these things at all. I don't even think I've changed the spark plug but on one. I've changed 2 air filters out of the 4, and they didn't even really need to be changed. I just did it anyways. So as far as maintenance go on these things, it's phenomenal, man. Like they're just solid blowers. The gas tank, huge positive. Now we blow big properties. Some of them are up to 30 acres big. We're having to do a lot of walking. Sometimes these guys will, for over a straight hour and a half, literally just be walking with this full blast almost blower just going for an hour and a half at a time. And that's pretty extensive to have a blower going that long. So having these big gas tanks, the guys would much rather have this and have that extra little bit of weight, on their back than carrying, like a water bottle with mixed gas in it, which is what you get used to doing. So the gas tank is just a huge thing that I like and everybody likes. It gets the job done. Like I said, we're on big properties and we never run out of gas whenever we're doing these big properties. And that's such a huge relief, man. Other things, I really like how they have the prime bulb and the choke right here. I mean, you can fit your hand on both of them at the same time. It's cold outside. You put your thumb there, bam. Everything is like in the spot of like the palm of your hand right here, and I really like that. There's no two-handed deals like on some of the new equipments. You have to take 2 hands, push in and turn the chokes. I'm not a fan of that, man. I don't really like that, but so I like having this here. Prime bulb, choke it, boom, you can start it and the choke sticks out to where you know it's out and it's easy to push right back in. So convenience, and just kind of how they wrap all this kind of doesn't make sense how they don't have a spring-loaded switch on the handle for the throttle, but the rest of it is like really thought out. I love the rest of it. As far as like blowing power, okay, now I went out and demoed a 700, a BR700, and I used it on one of the condos out there. I'm going to do a video and all that stuff on it, but because I was considering, because we need more blowers, so I was considering the BR700. After I ran it, I let a couple of the guys run it. It's just a no-go. For what we do, it just doesn't touch this. The CFM on this thing, basically the torque is how I like to word it on this compared to the steel. It's just not as powerful that we've seen. And that's a brand new 700 to an almost 2-year-old 580 BTS. So, you know what I mean? I'm sure out of the box, both of them side by side, is going to be a bigger difference. But, taking it out, this is what I've come to consider like the diesel compared to the V8. So, like, I consider like a BR700 more like a Vortec V8, and this right here is more like Duramax. I'm a Chevy guy, get over it. So this is definitely more the diesel, versus the gas engine when it comes to just the overall what feels like the lower bottom end push, not the miles per hour, because it's pretty neck and neck with the BR700. But and even the CFM reading is pretty neck and neck. But in real world testing, this still beats it. Otherwise, I would have got some more of those. But the next round that we get is going to be more 580 BTSs, unless they have a new version of this coming out that's even more powerful. But right now, what this feels like is, you guys know I have, we got a Skag Giant Vac. There's 13 horsepower, push street blower. Thing is phenomenal, man. It's an insane machine. But that, it feels like a little scaled down version of that on your back. So the guys don't mind having, because this does weigh a couple pounds more than the steels. But the negative though for some of the guys is the platform size is really big on the back. But they'll still take that because they feel like they get more accomplished with this compared to even the 700. Like I said, we took 2 of them out, actually, not just one. We took 2 of them out, and we just preferred this better. They did like how light and everything that the 700 felt. It definitely had a lot of power, especially for its light. That's why I like the steel weed eaters. They're some of my favorite weed eaters because they're very light and very powerful. And when we're having to walk around these large properties all the time, the more condensed and powerful something is, the better it is, in the long run. So, I mean, is this something that's perfect for jumping in and out of a truck real quick when you're doing tons of yards all day? This can probably be a little kind of bulky compared to like a 600 or something, or a 700. But, this is definitely closer to the one-man army, I feel, than the 700. And, people, you're going to have your own opinion, but they are almost neck and neck. But for me, I've noticed that almost 2 years old, this still just outdoes a BR 700 brand new out of the box. So positives are definitely the bottom end is what I call it when it comes to getting things blown. This thing is like the orange Hulk of blowers. So that's definitely what it is. I actually need to have some little orange Hulks and tape them all over it. This is the orange Hulk of blowers for backpack blowers. Other thing that I like that they did on this blower is like you guys know how the 600s and older, getting the vent, behind your back when you have it on, you're a sweat bucket by the time that you're done. But what I've loved about this right here is the way that they separated, and it's got a nice vent system. So when these are on your back, you really don't get killed with like really heavy sweating or anything, which is nice. Going on to the back, as you guys saw in the open intro, I got some shots of the backpack, the straps. Now, one thing that I will say, and this isn't a Bash Steel BR series update. I'm just doing a comparison because we like comparisons and we don't really get a lot of comparisons. So comparatively speaking, when it comes to the straps of the BR series for steel, I don't like the straps. I think that they've always been subpar. They don't match the rest of the machine, which is phenomenal. Great machine still makes for backpack blowers. Their straps have always just been junk. Almost 2 years, these things get used nonstop, in and out of the truck, all day long, every day. These straps still almost look exactly like the day that we bought the blowers. There's no fraying, there's no anything. It's just phenomenal. It goes with the build quality. They didn't just stop there. They realized that in order for you to have a backpack blower, it has to actually hang on your back and it has to be able to be supported by straps. And they really went out. They went all out. The padding back here, everything. And for that extra couple of pounds, you get the waist straps and you get the chest strap. Eliminates about 50% of the weight right off of this thing. So anyways, I won't make this long, man. I just wanted to do a quick update. So in the end, here's my thoughts. If you want something a little more condensed but still really powerful, I would definitely say a Steel BR 700. If you want something and you don't mind it having a very minuscule, bigger platform and you want to really feel a difference, I would say definitely go with the HUSQVARNA 580 BTS. And it's not only just the platform on the back. This just overall feels like a better built machine. Like I said, it's been dropped, it's been hammered. I've had no starting issues, no spark plug issues, and I've had all of that on steel. I think that they may be a little more susceptible to gas and oil mixtures, and I think maybe in the end that's kind of what it is. And you all know what I'm talking about. You'll get a brand new steel after 2 or 3 weeks, then you have a hard time getting the thing started unless you full throttle when you open it up, no matter how many times we get it adjusted. The blowers have never been as bad as the weed eaters for some reason, but these right here, comparing what I've had for the amount of time and the amount of use, these maintenance-wise seem to be stronger and less affected. We've also run this thing in the rain, like I've run steel in the rain, and I do notice something with their housing system right here. It doesn't pull in water. Maybe it's the size of the air filter, whatever it is, but I noticed that whenever we do have to blow in the rain, that we seem to have sometimes some running issues with the steel. And with these, we blew in 2 hurricanes the last 2 years. We've had no hiccups or running issues with these things. So the design is great. I actually love the way it feels on my back. You know, I'm 5'11", but I love the way these things fit. I love the way they feel. The extra straps are killer. I mean, everything's phenomenal. My only negative, like I said, they need to change the switch because I can't stand it, but we've gotten used to the way that, you know, you have to turn it off and turn it on before you walk away from the blower. But just strong machines. Do I recommend it? You can see I love HUSQVARNA. I don't have HUSQVARNA weed eaters or edgers. I use all steel, Echo, Shindawa for all of that. Chainsaws, I've never used an Echo one, but chainsaws, I have HUSQVARNA. Shears, I have steel and I have HUSQVARNA. And these are some of the best. The 525s are some of the best hedge trimmers I've ever used. But I'm always about exploring different options and different ideas, you know, for equipment. Oh, and speaking on that, we just got accepted as an official Echo UAG member. So what that is basically they take some professionals from the industry. You know, we get to check out and test out some equipment, and we kind of give them our thoughts and ideas on it and what might work or what might not work. But because of all of you guys, you know, subscribing to our channel, watching it, that's, you know, and some support for some other guys, you know, like Brian and Jason from Ambrose and Brian's Lawn Maintenance. You know, you guys have really brought some attention, you know, on our side, and Echo recognized it. So we're really grateful and thank all of you. And we'll be flying out in November to the headquarters. So we'll keep you guys updated on that. GIE, we're leaving Tuesday. We are, you know, Green Touch family members. So we're part of the Green Touch family. They make all the Extreme Pro Series racks. Just the best racks on the planet. We'll be at their booth Wednesday. That's the 18th at GIE. So make sure to come by. It's like 10034 is the booth number. Let's see, Thursday and Friday we will be, you know, bouncing around the SCAG and the Echo booths. Don't forget Naylor's after party. The GIE after party is Thursday, 6 o'clock. You guys come check that out. That's gonna be off the chain. That's probably gonna be like the headlining thing, like I keep saying, as far as the whole event for me is getting to hang out with everybody. So hope you guys enjoyed the update. Scale of 1 to 10, this is like a 9.8 for me, minus the little switch on there. But this is for now, and I think other manufacturers got a ways to go before they convince me personally to leave this as my primary back blowers. So until somebody comes up with something better that works for me, I'm not leaving. This is, like I said, man, these are the Orange Hulks, and these are definitely going to be the only thing that, you know, stays in our trailers when it comes to backpack blowers. All right, guys, take it easy.